Well, as a change of conversation topic, Vera said, how about you tell us a bit more about yourself? I mean, you did say that you were a siren, correct? As I'm to understand it, sirens are one of the weakest of all of the demon races, looked down upon. So how is it that you seem to garner so much respect, especially with your personality? I mean, are your powers somehow different from theirs? Are you stronger or faster? The man laughed as he ate his food, almost spitting his soup back into his bowl for a moment. Sorry to disappoint you, but I'm no stronger than any other siren. I don't have any special abilities that are different from theirs. My abilities are the same. I just have more skill, training, and strength. I'm far more developed than most other sirens, that's all. And exactly what are the abilities of a siren? I know the fables of them. However, you yourself are a contradiction to those fables. I was led to believe that sirens were women. Beautiful women that would allure sailors to their death. Is that not the case? Vera asked. Oh, no, that's actually pretty true. The majority of the siren population is female. About 70, maybe 80%. Very few male sirens are ever born. As far as why that is, I couldn't really tell you. And one of the weird things about sirens is, regardless of what demon that we find ourselves with, as long as the mother is a siren, the child will be as well, with no mixture from anything else. It doesn't matter how powerful the father is. If the mother's a siren, the child's going to be a siren. 100%. I'm unsure if it differs for men, but that's because we are, well, a bit more rare. We sirens are looked down upon for a number of reasons. Mostly because, in terms of demons, we're weak. Very much so. Most other demons have, well, power. They have increased strength or speed, furious claws or teeth that can rip through things, powers that let them breathe fire, disappear into shadow, and a number of other very useful things in combat. However, sirens' abilities aren't traditionally seen as effective in combat, or in killing people. They aren't really dangerous. In terms of physicality, not only do sirens look much like a regular human, but as far as physical strength and ability goes, there isn't much of a difference, if there is one at all. If a human and a siren get into an arm wrestling match, there's really no telling who's going to win, because our physical abilities are basically identical, at least in terms of physical strength and speed. Our hearing, sight, smell is all basically human. We don't have any sort of extraordinary physical abilities that would help us in a fight. The few different abilities that we do have, as far as physicality is concerned, aren't very useful when it comes to killing people. I mean, technically we don't have to breathe. That's one physical difference. But unless you're going for an exceptionally long swim, that's basically useless. The only reason sirens actually bother to breathe is because we need the air to pass through our vocal cords in order to make sound, just like any normal person. If it weren't for that, we wouldn't really breathe at all. Other than that, the only difference is our actual demonic abilities, and even those are very much looked down upon, as once again, they're not really useful in combat. You can't really kill people with them, at least in most cases. We sirens have only two natural demonic abilities, the first of which is the most well-known of our abilities, and that is the siren's call. Basically, we're able to sing, and we're very good at it, regardless of whether you're male or female. We also, well, we're pretty. I know it's silly, you can't really count it as a superpower, or demonic ability, but for whatever reason, sirens are extremely good looking, whether male or female. I have never in my life met an ugly siren, and most likely never will. Being good looking is just part of the package. This also most likely helps with the siren's call. This ability allows us to use our demonic energy and weave that energy into the music that we sing, into our song. By hearing this song, we are able to affect the emotions of those who hear it, making them feel happy or sad, invoke feelings of fear, or the one that most people know about is lust, to allure one of the opposite gender. And those stories about sirens luring sailors to their doom upon rocky outcroppings at sea, well, those are true too. You see, most of the time, us sirens tend to be more or less just scavengers. We don't have any extra strength or power. We can't force what we want out of people or overpower them. So many of my race demote themselves to common scavengers. They lure ships into the rocks, but their simple death isn't what they want out of it. Their goal is to bring down the ship so that they can take the valuables: gold, silver, weapons, clothing, anything that they can use. And trust me, a man at sea who hasn't seen a woman in months, seeing beautiful women call out to him, being captivated with a song of erotic allure, yeah, they make stupid decisions. The only other natural abilities that we sirens possess is sort of an illusion-based ability. Basically, we are able to create a fog, once again weaving our demonic energy into it. By doing so, we are able to manipulate this fog, and within it, create illusions, or bounce the sound of our voices and the music that we sing off of it. We usually combine the two in order to make effective traps for people that we want to scavenge things from. It's really all sirens are known for. That's basically all we do, is set dirty traps and hope people fall into them. Even our ability to hunt is highly based off of it. Rather than trying to attack our prey, we usually ensnare them in an illusion. We create the fog, and then within that fog, produce a series of illusions that either lead the victim or animal into some sort of trap that we've set up, like a pit filled with spikes, or we simply exhaust them to death, make them completely lose track or bearing of where they are, where they need to go, keep them running in circles until they're too exhausted to go anywhere or do anything. And then, when they have no energy left to fight, that's when we strike, when they're at their weakest. It's more time-consuming, but much safer when you don't have the extra physical strength that other demonic entities have. And as far as abilities go, that's really all we've got. Well, despite your words, you seem to have made the best of it. How exactly is it that you've attained such a prestiged reputation, if that is really all you're capable of doing? Hey, it's not about what you have, it's about how you use it, the man replied to Vera. I got where I am by not looking down on myself and my own abilities. It doesn't matter where you come from or what your natural talents are. Everybody has them, and they can all be useful. If you stop pitying yourself and looking down on yourself, then you can make something of it. So I created a combat style that suits me and fits my abilities. It's uncommon for sirens to actually become warriors. Well, at least it was until I showed up. But I'm starting to change that whole perception of sirens being weak and helpless. And I've actually started training a number of other sirens on how to make use of their abilities. They're nowhere near my level, but they're starting to become more than competent. But there's a lot of prejudice against the siren race in the demon world. It's a hard ladder to climb up, in anyone's standards. In most demon societies, sirens are basically viewed as useless, worthless. The only thing that anyone really wants to have a siren around for is usually as a performer, to sing for them, or a courtesan, so to speak, to satisfy their desires. But even if they have children, there's no way that anyone of any high level is going to accept a siren as the successor to anything important. Their children are usually discarded, along with the woman should she throw a tantrum, left to their own devices. So sirens tend not to make attachments to anyone who isn't a siren as well.